Welcome back to Bibliophiles Audiophiles. This is Steve.
Hi, Steve.
How you doing, girl? Hey, girl.
Anyways.
Oh, have we started?
Yeah.
Hey, girl.
Welcome back to Bibliophiles Audiophiles.
We always pause on the second word.
I added it for effect. I don't know what kind of effect, but effect.
Let us know down in the comments below.
Anyways, so this is episode 2 of Month of Maas.
And this is Lydia.
Oh, yeah. Do we want to introduce ourselves every single time? Does it really matter?
I don't think it matters.
At this point in time, we've been doing this for so long. If they don't know our names, then it is what it is. But I'm Alyssa. But this is episode 2 of Month of Maas.
Yeah.
Where we are reading A Court of Mist and Fury.
Ooh.
Miss Ma'am, you have the blurb.
Oh, I do have the blurb. Here is the blurb as read on Storygraph. Farah is immortal. Spoiler. After rescuing her lover Tamlin from a wicked fairy queen, she returns to the spring court possessing the powers of the High Fae. But Farah cannot forget the terrible deeds she performed to save Tamlin's people, nor the bargain she made with Rye Bread, High Lord of the feared Night Court. As Farah is drawn ever deeper into Rye Bread's dark web of politics and passion, war is looming in an evil far greater than any queen threatens to destroy everything Farah fought for. She must confront her past, embrace her gifts, and decide her fate. She must surrender her heart to heal a world torn in two. And now for the reviews.
Content warnings.
Oh, content warnings. I got those written down.
I remember reading them, because I read them actually prior to reading the actual book.
Yeah. And
I know one of them is toxic relationship.
Yes. Sexual content, violence, toxic relationship, emotional abuse.
Spicy.
Spicy. So if you're into that.
If you're not, then stay clear.
Yeah.
So that's that.
Reviews.
I'm a squirrel.
Squirrel.
Yeah. The overall rating was a 4.54 according to Storygraph. Looking at reviews, it was actually really hard to find reviews that had actual words on them that were less than 5 stars. But I somehow scrolled and I found them. It took me a hot minute, but
congratulations.
We got you your well-roundabout. Thank you. Set of reviews here. We'll start off with the 5-star because it was the first one I found. I found it more difficult getting into this one compared to the first in the series, but the ending had me rushing to get my hands on the 3rd book. There was some really good character development in here, and I can't wait to see where the series is going to go next. This one didn't have a star at all, and it said, I couldn't stick with the books due to the author being problematic, so I'm guessing this person probably DNF'd it. Yeah.
Like you almost did in the last book because you're a sinner.
Yeah.
No.
Anyways.
Sinner.
3.5. I love surreal. That's it.
Straight to the point.
4-star. I turned from the usual in series like these. Hold on. That wasn't the words.
Wait a minute.
A turn from the usual in series like these where I like the 2nd book almost if not more than the first.
Yes.
No sophomore slump here. And 3-star. Fun and erotic. Ratchets the tension up a couple notches and fleshes out the world and the Night Court characters. Although the characters feel similar in that they have similar obstacles to overcome, but we still have satisfying relationships and rapport. Still has a teen fantasy type focus on the protagonist that really centers Farah in the lives of every other character, but that's to be expected. And
I want to cut in real fast.
Sure.
So, I'm sorry. So
that's
many
okay. I finished
people
already.
are like, this book is okay for teenagers. I would not want my teenager reading this book. My children are like 7 months old and 2, so like they're not going to be reading anytime soon. But like, I don't want them reading this.
No.
Like the aspect, like the world aspect, yeah, it's cool. It's awesome. It's imaginative. It's really cool. You know, Maas goes into great detail. But not the smut. Some of it can be super detailed.
You could maybe get away with it in the 1st book.
Yeah.
Maybe. That's a very hard maybe.
Yeah.
Probably leaning more towards no.
Yeah. Like,
everything after that, though.
17, 18, cool, but like not 14. Because someone said their 14-year-old was reading this, and I'm like, not
his parent.
I didn't even get my period until I was 14. I could
Really?
not imagine. Yes, I could not imagine. I'm a late bloomer. I could not imagine reading this at 14 or younger because I was just like so embarrassed to even be a woman when I was younger.
For me, high school, like I was so blind to stuff like that in high school.
Yeah.
Probably thanks to my parents. Thank you guys.
I was raised super Christian, like don't even have sex until you're married.
So I probably wouldn't even understand that stuff in high school.
No.
Like it was so foreign. It probably would have made me feel really icky and weird.
Yeah.
Very different from how I am now, though. I
read this series when I was like 17 or 18, and I struggled with that part because I was not into that kind of thing at that age, you know? Because it's so weird for me to see people being like, oh, my 13-year-old loves this series. I'm like, why are you letting your 13-year-old read this?
I mean, you do you as a parent, but like, not me.
No, bro.
No.
Sorry, I didn't mean to cut in there, but I'm just like, I'm not shaming you if you're letting your children read this, but like, make sure you have read it first.
Oh, for sure.
Before showing your children this. Don't be like, oh, book club with my 12-year-old. We're going to read the series. No. Make sure you read the book first and then decide whether or not your child needs to be reading this.
Sure, I agree. And you didn't really cut me off. I was already done reading the
okay,
reviews,
I'm sorry.
So you're good.
I'm like,
good.
I don't want to forget this, but I want this to be said. Oh my gosh.
You be bueno.
Bueno.
Anyways,
baby.
Now that you stood on your little soapbox there.
Don't make me seem mean. Now I'm embarrassed.
No, you're good. I was teasing. I kid.
Oh. Seriously, I'm like turning so red.
No, but
my
like,
face is burning.
I agree with what you're saying, though.
Okay, thank you.
So like, we should just get right into it then.
Yeah, you know what? Cue James. Whoa, what up, James?
There's some spoilers coming up, sweetie. You better cover your ears.
Hi. My first thought of the evening, screw Tamlin. That's the first thing I wrote on here was screw Tamlin.
Remember, like, when we were talking about it, like, literally, like, 5 minutes ago.
You know, in the first episode of
No,
Maas Month.
not the first episode. No. Like, 5 minutes ago when you were going over content warnings.
Oh, yeah. I thought you meant, like, we were talking about last episode, the Tamlin.
So, when I saw the content warning was toxic relationship, because, like I said, in the first episode, I loved Tamlin.
Yeah.
And I saw it said toxic relationship. I got so sad. I was just like, why?
It's like making my skin crawl because it's like PTSD stuff.
I was so sad to see that as the content warning, and I got so sad. And then like I read it, and I'm just like,
you know what, girl queen, you go, right. You get out of there,
right. Get her
out.
Right.
You need to bounce.
Like bye.
I've been waiting for you to catch up for me in this book because like you were kind of like texting me about it, and I'm like, just you wait. Just you wait. You'll see. You'll get there.
I know. Yeah, I know. And I got there finally.
You
literally
finally
like
there.
last night.
Yeah. Finished your book.
Yeah.
I hate him. You know, he can leave, go crawl in a hole, pass away. Rye Bread is my man.
Very much now. Yeah. He's definitely my man.
Now Rye Bread, you know.
Rye Bread.
You were blind. It's okay. Everyone's blinded by Tamlin's good
I'm wearing
looks.
glasses now, for real though.
Yeah.
I could see.
Now.
I didn't need those. I do though.
Your notes just fell like all on the floor. It's a book. At least it's put together.
Is it though? Because it broke.
Yeah, your book is falling apart. I don't know what you've done to your book, but my book is okay so far. Oh, that's a nice addition.
Sorry.
What do you think about Cassian and Azriel?
Okay, so...
And Emran. I forgot Emran. She's part of the... Oh, and more. They're all part of the boy team there.
Okay, so here's my thing with this book. That there's probably going to be a couple pieces of the book that I don't quite remember. Mm-hmm. And the reason why is because this is the first book that I tried doing Alexa assisted reading with.
Yeah.
So it worked out great when I was in the car. There were times when like it would skip and repeat.
I remember you telling me about that. Yeah.
And like it would just suddenly start over like the chapter or like the page. And I'm like, I just read this. So I'd have to close out the app, open up the Kindle app, and then scroll to the page that it was at. And then go a little bit further to where we literally just left off. Yeah. And then restart the app to start listening again.
Or is it
okay? It does. But it's not as bad.
That's annoying.
But I was also trying to listen to this while I was at work, which potentially could be easy, but I can't focus on it like the way I can in a car.
Yeah.
Because I'm doing other things
I
at
wish
the
I
same
could
time.
listen to it in the car, but if Miss Rachel ain't blasting, my 2-year-old is just losing it.
Yeah.
So I don't know about listening to the smut in the car, because that seems a little bit awkward. You know, driving on the interstate and it's like, his length sprung free, and you just look over and lock eyes with someone driving, and it's like, you're like, they know.
Well,
They had to hear that.
I drive country roads, so I don't have that problem.
Country road,
Take me home. Yeah, no.
Sorry.
So, yeah, so when I started using that, and it was getting, I think it was around that part where they introduced all those characters.
Uh-huh.
Well, they first introduced more in the very beginning, though. And I liked her catty kind of like...
Amron?
No, more.
More, okay.
Her catty kind of like demeanor, I guess. Yeah. You know what I'm trying to...
I really liked her. I wish she was included more in the book.
Yeah.
She like was not...
We need more of more.
We need more.
Yeah.
Maas, we need more. More?
But, yeah, so my point is... What I was
Stay
trying
on
to
track.
say.
Stay on track.
When I started using the Alexa assistant reading thing to try to listen to the book,
Mhm.
is around the same time when they were introducing and getting to know these characters. So,
Like all their backstories and stuff.
I got confused. I learned along the way though,
Yeah.
so we're okay.
It does mention them. You know, some people don't like that because they're like, oh, it's repetitive. But I'm like, I like how it reminds me, because
Yes.
I may forget that Moore went through all that, and then
Yeah.
now it's reminding me again, and so I have more sympathy for her in this moment.
Yeah.
It's like I like that she
It's
does
a
that.
very tasteful callback.
tasteful. That's what it
You
was.
know?
Yeah.
Like it's not like an obsessive amount where it just keeps reminding you. It just reminds you in like the perfect
Perfect
amount.
way. I know. Moss is, her brain is beautiful.
But I do enjoy the night court characters.
Yeah, I do too.
If
If Rye Bread couldn't be my favorite, it would be Cassian. Cassian's like, he's so snarky and so funny, and I love that.
No, Rye Bread's my favorite.
Rye Bread.
I saw a an Instagram reel where it was just like, your month is like the SJM character or male character that you're with, and I had to go to the part 2 one because I'm a December baby, and
December baby,
and I got Rye Bread, and I was so happy with that.
Ooh.
Your month got Azriel.
Bro, I love Azriel. Not gonna lie. I was gonna ask
like
if you
him too.
remembered. Bro, imagine you and Rye Bread make it and you're together and you're like just in the throes of passion. Would you yell Rye Bread?
I probably would.
Like, I can't say your name. Rye Bread! Like,
I probably would.
Okay, I had to wonder. I don't know why that's where my mind went.
I probably would.
Yeah.
If I could.
Rye.
Rye. But in the beginning, prior to like really getting to know all the Night Court characters,
Yeah.
I still, because again, my allegiance was still to Tamlin at the moment, but like literally very shortly after like the first couple chapters,
Yeah.
that changed.
Yeah. Real quick.
But I
quicker
still,
than her.
I hated that she had the deal still with
Rye Bread.
Rye Bread.
Yeah.
And that she's still bound to it. And I'm just like, well, why didn't he break it? Which we learn later why.
Yeah.
And I'm so happy about it, you know?
Yeah. I liked how she was like, get me out of here. And he was like, that. And he's like,
Yeah.
coming out. He chose then to call him in his favor, you know? And it's like, then, like, of course she was pissed. And he's like, well, I heard you asking for anybody to come help you. And then she's like, that's not what I meant. It's what she meant. We all know it. But
Yeah. But trauma. Again, she was taught to think that he was a bad person,
Yeah.
you know? But, you know, deep down, she definitely was so happy with that, you know?
Yeah.
I mean, she
She's
hated
like,
it,
I'm
but...
not having to marry him right now. I have time to think about it.
Which, it reminded me... Have you ever seen Cinderella 2?
There's a second one?
There's a third one, actually.
There's a third one?
Yeah.
Is it cartoon or is it like...
Yeah. Cartoon.
I've seen all the Little Mermaids when it's like Eric and Ariel's daughter. Like, I've seen that, but I didn't know there was more Cinderellas.
There's also a third Little Mermaid. It's Little Mermaid, Ariel's Beginnings, but it's like a prequel, kind of.
I had no idea that was a thing.
I've never seen it, but I know it's a thing.
Oh my
But
gosh.
there's
What about the
three-
Cinderella?
There's 3 Cinderellas. So there's Cinderella, obviously.
Yeah.
There's Cinderella 2, which pretty much is the mice want to make Cinderella a little storybook to gift to her as a gift, and the fairy godmother helps her, and they come up with like stuff that's happened since she got married to the prince, and like stuff that's happened in between then. So
That's
one
so
of the,
sweet.
it is so sweet.
Yeah.
So part of the story is Anastasia finds someone to love. and that was a whole story.
Yeah.
But the first, well, actually it was technically the first story, but the first one, which is the one I'm connecting this to, is, so after they get married, they come back from, I guess, their honeymoon, whatever it was, and she's moving into the castle, and he has to leave to go for some princely duties or whatever. So she's stuck doing all this work to create some big event, gala or something like that. I don't know what it was.
Like a ball
but
of some sort.
They had to like teach her how to do all this stuff, and then they also had her doing this, how to do these princess duties and stuff like that, and she had to pretty much like set all this stuff up, and she had to like learn how to be, or just pretty much get trained to be how she
to be
needs
a
to be the
princess.
princess stuff.
Yeah.
So it kind of, with her being in the spring court and having
all the duties she had to learn.
all the duties and stuff she had to learn, and then getting ready for the wedding and stuff like that with Ian. We're calling her Ian.
Ian, however you say it. You know,
That
the priestess.
priestess.
Yeah.
I was going to say a word, but we're not saying that word on the air. So, what word? I was going to say that priestess.
Arnar.
Or I was going to say,
I was going to say, like, I'm like, would fit better.
it would.
Yeah, so Ian.
Arnar.
Yeah, her.
Yeah.
So, her pretty much just like grooming, I guess.
It really was. It gave me grooming vibes, because they're like, you just sit here and look pretty and we'll handle everything. You're an object kind of deal. And I'm like, that made me so mad.
But Cinderella 2 wasn't like that, where it's just like, you're an object. It was more so like the whole, this is everything you kind of got to be. You know? Like, we need to teach you all this. You need to dress like this and all that stuff. And she's just like, well, I just want to wear my apron. You know?
Yeah.
And just talk to mice. Which
Yeah.
is the same thing as, like, Feyre. She
Yeah.
doesn't want this gaudy, like,
She's
wedding
like,
gown.
I'll sit here, but then I'm going to go sit by myself afterwards.
You know what? I was trying to figure out what her wedding dress reminded me of with the way that it was described.
Yeah.
I need to show you exactly, because I just realized what it was. See, Big Bang. Have you seen Big Bang Theory?
No.
Okay. So then you won't know what I'm talking about, so that's why I'm pulling up a picture.
Yeah.
So for people who have, I was thinking of Amy's wedding dress in the show. Tell me that's not what you thought.
Oh, that is beautiful.
You think that's beautiful?
Yeah, I like it. Well, I
No.
don't like the cape. I was looking at the bottom half.
Okay, the bottom half is pretty.
Looking at the top half, I'm kind of like,
Amish.
yeah.
Like,
Yeah, I was looking at the bottom half and the ruffles and the layers. I was like, oh, it's so pretty. But no, not the top. The top reminds me of somebody's grandma sitting in the front row of Sunday church.
that is how I pictured her wedding dress.
Yeah.
All like gaudy and just,
Can't hardly
Fluff.
move in it. Yeah.
well, she can move in this, but like this, this is kind of what I envisioned for her as
Yeah.
her wedding dress.
Yeah, I definitely can
Which,
see that.
you know, Rye Bread didn't just laughed at.
Yeah.
So
I love how she's like, she gets to the House of Wind and she's like walking and she can hear it scratching the floor and it's like overstimulating, because I can relate, because my wedding dress did that. Like, it just grated on my ears, like hearing it drag on the ground, because like I paid $2,000 for this and it's dragging the ground. You know,
that's how I feel about like my pants sometimes, because I
Yeah.
hear them like swishing against my thighs, or like my thighs rubbing together with like jeans and stuff like that.
That
And
girl problems.
I hate that
Yeah.
sound so
Like,
much.
I paid for this. It's gonna be ruined. I still haven't got my dress dry cleaned. It's been 3 years.
It's still in your dad's closet.
It's in my dad's closet. Yeah. Yeah. Every time I go to my dad's, he's like, "Are you gonna take this home?" And I'm like, "No." You got more closet space than me, bro.
He does though.
He does. His closet's like 3 times the size of mine. Anyways, Farrah needs to make up her mind about where home is. It's the human lands.
Yes.
It's the spring court. It's Valeris. It's the human lands. Maybe Valeris? No, yeah, Valeris for sure.
Yeah.
Like, bro.
The whole like book, it felt like she couldn't figure out where she fit.
Yeah.
You know?
I mean, I get that, because all of a sudden she's immortal.
Mhm.
And she's like never lived in this world, and all of a sudden she's thrown into it and expected to know what's going on. So like, I get that.
But it's like, so like the human world is where she grew up. It's like everything she's pretty much ever known.
Yeah.
But it's not home because her sisters treat her like garbage.
Garbage. Yeah.
You know? And then the spring
Garbage.
court was her home because it was in a place where she felt
She was
safe
happy.
At a point in time. She was happy, you know, and she's
She
taken
had
care
a
of.
hot dude, you know?
Yeah.
Hot dude turned out to be toxic, and she's like, well.
Nah, I ain't home.
Yeah.
And then she's brought over to Valeris,
Yeah.
where
It's
again, she was
beautiful.
taught to think that Rye Bread was a bad person.
Yeah.
The place is gorgeous,
Yeah.
but she was taught that this person was a bad person, which
Yeah.
he's really not.
No, definitely not.
But you know, it's just the whole character growth that she really needed. One of the notes I had is that she needs therapy.
Oh my gosh, yes. I
Like-
would have loved if Maas included that she went to like a fae therapist.
Yeah, I mean,
that would have been so
I
funny.
feel like it wouldn't be necessary.
It wouldn't be necessary, but it would be like a little quirky.
But she
thing.
definitely needed it.
Yeah.
Like, the depression was real with her.
Yeah.
And it made me so sad because, like, she really wanted to paint.
Yeah.
But then
And she
after
couldn't.
the whole everything, and she just...
Tamlin.
Under the Mountain and stuff like that.
Yeah.
I actually put this in a note for one of the other books, but it still relates to this.
Mhm.
It's crazy what, like, different types of, like, mental illnesses, like anxiety and depression and stuff like that,
Can really ruin things.
can ruin your life and ruin, like, stuff that you love.
Yeah.
So, like, the fact that, like, she was just in such a slump, and she loves painting. And even, like, when she was living in the human world
Mhm.
and pretty much dying, like, if she had paint, she still had the ability to do it. Like, she
Yeah.
wasn't in that bad of a spot.
Yeah.
But then she gets to this point where she's just so down, she can't even be in the room
Yeah.
where the paints are. You know, like, it's crazy what stuff like that can do to your hobbies.
Yeah.
That's
And
what I
it
was
can
trying to
definitely
say.
ruin it.
Oh, okay. So again, starting back with, like, me being, like, in allegiance with Tamlin,
Mhm.
and then changing over the entire book, I was pissed because I didn't want to start liking Rye Bread,
Yeah.
and I was like sitting there, and I was just like, I don't want to like him. I'm really mad that I'm starting to like him because he's actually a really nice person.
Yeah.
Like, I wrote here, I'm mad I'm starting to like Rye Bread, but I really appreciate him because he's helping her learn unlike Tam.
Yeah. Because
And-
he's like, you're going to learn how to read because that's important. You need to do
Yes. When he, like, that chapter where she was like, well, what am I going to do? And he's like, she's like, what am I going to do for, like, this whole week that I'm here? And he's like, you're going to learn how to read.
that. Yeah.
My heart, like, low-key kind of fluttered there. 'Cause
Yeah.
I was just like, wow, you're, like, actually going to, like,
Do something.
be, like, care for her. But in,
Yeah.
like, a completely different way than she needs.
Yeah. Not like Tamlin. He's like, oh, you don't need that.
Yeah.
You'll be fine. I'll read for you. It'll be okay.
Yeah, like, that's where I started getting really pissed off. 'Cause
Yeah.
I was just like, damn, this is going to be my downfall.
Mm-hmm. What about the classic 2 people, 1 bed trope? Because they
Wait.
had to stay in a hotel, and it was Rye Bread and Farah, and they're like, oh, there's only 1 bed. Oh no, what are we gonna do? You know?
Share it.
Oh, you don't remember that?
I don't, actually.
You don't?
Remind me.
I don't remember why they were at a hotel, but it was like her and Rye Bread were there, and then he's like, oh, I'll sleep on the floor. She's like, don't be silly, we'll just share a bed, and that's when they start messing around. You don't remember that?
It might have been during the audiobook malfunction.
It was like in the attic of a hotel. I don't remember why they were there. Like, honestly, I have no idea why they're there. But like, I thought it was funny because I wrote down, I hated you once, but let's bone because we're destined to. But you don't remember that? I don't remember why they were at a hotel, but yeah, they were like, oh, what are we gonna do? I guess we'll just share a bed.
Was it when they went to the Weaver?
No. I'm gonna have to look it up. It's gonna bother me.
Because like I said, a lot of the parts in the middle of that book, I don't quite remember because of the whole audio mishap that I had.
Yeah. Okay, this is a paraphrase. A Court of Mist and Fury, chapter 48. Rising
Okay. Sorry. I wrote chapter 48 finally. So
Okay. So you know what we're talking about then. Rye Bread and Farah enter a tiny inn because of reasons. I have no effing clue why they're spending the night there. Maybe something to do with trying to hide their tracks from Lucian and Tamlin when they were on the run from them, hiding from them. That's what it was. I honestly have no idea why they can't winnow/teleport to the war camp because they had a tracker on Rye Bread's medicine. Magic. I don't know why medicine. They're just now in a tiny room in an inn because Maas finally gave up and needed a contrived reason to get them to share a bed. The chapter deadass kicks off like, oh no, there's only 1 bed. Oh no, the room's too small to use fire magic. We have to cuddle for warmth. He said, I love it when you look at me like, okay, you do. And then he's like purring and his voice heated my blood, whatever. And it's like them messing around.
I wrote down chapter 48 finally.
Yeah.
Because I couldn't remember what happened in that scene. I just knew that's when they started actually, like, doing something.
Yeah.
And I was so happy with that. But then chapter 55.
Chapter 55. 5, if I were to ever get a Maas tattoo, it would just be chapter 25 and nothing else. Like, that is my absolute favorite smut scene.
Chapter 55?
Yes. In this whole series. I have chapter 55. I have read this before, and like when I hit 40, I couldn't put it down because I'm like, I'm so close to chapter 55. I've got to keep reading so I can get back to chapter 55. I reread it twice.
Yeah. That's when I got so happy though, because that is when like the real stuff starts, but also because shortly before that she finds out that Rye Bread's her mate, and then, you know, like she goes to, it's not the House of Wind.
I thought it was. The one that's above the Court of Nightmares?
No. The one that's that small little cabin that she paints.
Oh, no, that's the, I think they call it the cabin. It's where the boys go.
Yeah.
Yeah.
The cabin.
Yeah.
So she goes there because you know, she trapped the cereal. The cereal's like, do this because he's your mate. And she's just like,
mate?
Excuse me?
Excuse me?
And then she goes off on Rye Bread, and Rye Bread gets upset, and she tells Moore to go take her literally anywhere. And she goes to hide, and she like contemplates everything. And then Rye Bread comes, and like my heart fluttered again.
Yeah.
And then he explains the whole story. But that whole story, in terms of like him going through like everything that led up to them becoming like mates.
Yeah.
Girl.
Bruh. I just love how the cereal was like, your mate. And then she's like, hold up. And the cereal's like, yeah, didn't you know?
Mm.
Like literally everybody but her knew. I mean, everyone's like, oh, we could smell it on you. And I'm like, that's so weird.
The whole scent thing's kind of weird for
Yeah.
sure.
We can smell. It's like, no. I'm trying to find the name of that cabin. I just remembered it as the cabin.
We can just call it the cabin. We don't have to
Yeah.
waste our time trying to find it.
Yeah. But yeah, that's where they fiuck.
Yeah.
Yeah.
What I really liked about that whole thing though is so he goes through the whole thing where he like knew they were going to be mates pretty much, not like knew, but like he had this feeling prior to her even existing.
Yeah,
You
you
know?
got like flashes
The
of her
flashes
doing
and stuff like that?
Yeah.
But then before she even knew him,
She got the flash.
not just the
Of the
flash,
stars.
no, the dresser. The
Yeah.
dresser drawer.
Yeah, that's what I'm talking about.
You said flash.
Yeah, didn't she get like a vision from him or whatever? Or was it a
No.
dream?
I don't think so. I think
And she drew the
she
stars.
painted the stars for
Yeah.
herself. So it was like clearly meant to be.
It was meant to be. I love that. Like that
That-
little. I had completely forgotten all about that by the time it explains it, and I'm just like, oh,
That made me my heart really happy.
it really did.
I was so happy.
Oh.
But this book also though, like it took me a hot minute to like get through.
Yeah.
I kind of had to struggle to read it until like halfway through.
What about Rye Bread's protectiveness? The touch her and die trope.
I love it.
Love it.
I love
Yeah.
it so much.
Love it.
Oh, I love that so much.
Can you imagine how hard it was for him to let her go back to Tamlin, knowing that she's his mate and he can't do anything about it?
But you know, with all that, it must have been really hard for him. But the thing that I like the most about Rye Bread is that he respects and trusts her so much.
Yes.
Because
Yeah.
unlike Tamlin, while he's very protective of her, still gives her freedom.
That's what I wrote down next. It said, Tamlin was overbearing and controlling, but Rye Bread is the perfect mix of be your own boss and touch her and die.
Yes.
He really
That
was
is-
the
oh.
perfect. Because he didn't let her do anything, you know? I love how it explains that several times throughout the series.
What was I going to say?
Words, if I had to guess.
But yeah, like it's just it's the fact that he just respects her.
He really
and
does.
respects her wishes because he knows, because he felt it through their bond,
Yeah.
that the way that Tamlin restricted her caused her to pretty much
Shut down.
shut down, freak
Yeah.
out. That's why he had to follow those particular protocols and have Moore go and retrieve her from the Spring Court to bring her to the Night Court,
Mhm.
because he didn't want to break any kind of rules.
Yeah.
But also
And start a whole war.
yeah.
Yeah.
But like he knows like what's gonna trigger and affect her and cause her to break down, and he doesn't do anything to cause that.
Mhm.
You know, like, it's that respect that I absolutely love
Mm-hmm.
for him and want for her and for myself.
And for you,
But-
I was going to say for you too, preferably. I really should have seen the mate bond coming sooner. It kept dancing like all around it.
Oh, yeah.
When Rye Bread was explaining everything, like the flashes and like the bond and all that, and when he noticed it was right after Under the Mountain and he stumbled back, that made me cry. Did it make you feel sad at all or anything? Like, not sad, but like happy tears, maybe?
I didn't happy tear, but like the feeling you get with happy tears was there.
I was actually crying. I was just like, oh. His love and dedication before he even knew her.
You know where I almost did cry, though? At the end of the book, pretty much. Where they're trying to do the whole thing with the cauldron. And Tamlin, and this is where I really hated Tamlin.
Yeah.
When he...
this is when the anger sets in. Yeah.
When he, pretty much turned over her sisters.
Yeah.
And all that stuff.
Yeah, and Lucian's like, this wasn't part of the deal.
Yeah.
And then it's like, mate. Again.
But who was it that told... Was it Jurian and the King of Hybern who were there?
Yes. I think it was them, like Tamlin, Lucian, Jurian, the King of Hybern.
But whoever it was told them to break the bond between Rye Bread and Feyre.
Tamlin.
Was it Tamlin?
It was, he said he wanted to.
And then the King of Hybern did it.
Yeah, I think he was like, I want her as mine, like, property.
Yeah.
And that was also part of the deal, was the King of Hybern was like, if you bring, the Night Court to me, then I will break the bond for you.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But in that moment where she was just like, okay, and Rye Bread was just like, no.
Yeah.
And she was just like, yes, break the bond.
Her acting skills were on point.
I, in all caps at the bottom, said, YTF, she break the bond.
Yeah.
I was freaking out. Because I was just like, why would she do something like that?
Yeah.
That is so stupid.
That is very
because
dumb.
that is her man. She's got the perfect man. Why is she going back to some stupid, toxic...
I get it, but at
Alpha
the
male.
same time, bro.
But then underneath that, in very small letters, wrote, never mind, we good fam.
Never mind, we good fam.
Because
never mind, she's got this. She's got this.
Because
she's okay.
they, like, solidified their mating bond literally the night before.
Yeah.
And my heart...
the consummation
that too.
of the bond. Yeah. Chapter 55.
Chapter 55. No, that was after 55, though.
Yeah.
No, but, like, they did the mating bond after chapter 55.
Oh, the ceremony thing?
Yeah.
Yeah, okay.
Which then I think they still had to consummate anyway, which I'm sure they did.
Oh,
But-
yeah, I bet they did. All over everywhere.
I'm sure they did.
I love how Feyre, like, discovers her strength during the battle in Valeris, especially when she took down the Adder. I'm just like, sis, girl queen!
Yes. When that one rating where they talked about character development, and I'm like, that is so true. Because she, like, again, with SJM, she took their traumas and incorporated it into their cameras. Characters.
Yeah.
Yeah.
They have those in Valeris.
They definitely do. Took it with their characters and then shaped their characters with the trauma, but also made them grow from it. And I really love that with the characters.
Especially the water wolves. I really like the water animals. But I love her character development. Because she goes from, like, at the beginning of the book, just being, like, a shell. And by the end, she's literally... Was it this book that they made her High Lady?
Yes.
Yes. So she goes from a shell to being, like, toxic, mentally abused, to a High Lady.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm just like, that is... Whoa. She's, like... little, and now she's like big, and she's got all these skills that she can use and she's been practicing with. And she took down the Adder, which was like, I think I say Adder, I don't know if that's right. It could be Ador, but I say Adder. Attor.
I did a tour.
I did Adder. A tour sounds better though. The AT&T here. I didn't like that.
The mobile service.
The mobile service, yeah. She killed that mobile service. Yeah, when she went against that, like, went against that thing, and she was like...
Oh, and defended the rainbow?
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Man, and then she was like, well, they're falling through the air, and then she, like, told her, whatever we call that, last minute, and it went splat on the ground. That gave me chills. I was just like, girl
queen, boss,
girl
vibes.
Queen.
Like, I loved that.
I said the power this queen has, for real. Some might say her use of all the High Lord powers are overkill, but I loved it.
No, I loved it.
I did too.
One thing I noticed, though, about both these books, I just knocked my computer.
Don't do that. That's important.
The one thing I noticed about both these, the first and the second book, is that very close towards the end, I had moments where I was just like, why would you do that?
You almost DNF this one too?
No.
Oh.
Did I? I would have written it down if I did, but I didn't.
Okay.
That's
That's good.
But it was like moments where I was just like, why would you do that? But then like shortly after, I'm just like, never mind. We're good now.
That makes sense.
Like both books, like
I see why you did
were
that,
the same thing. So like I really like that, like the books connected in that way for me, at least, you know, where we had that kind of like same lead up to, I guess, you know,
that same development.
Mm-hmm. Oh, you know,
for real,
we were talking about the Night Court people.
Yeah,
Azriel gives me had always given me like these he's evil kind of vibes, and that just might be because he's a shadow singer, right?
Yeah.
So the whole shadow singing like that, like it gives me like evil vibes, but I think the main reason why it does is because have you ever heard or have played the game Undertale?
Yes.
So the little evil villain is named Azriel.
Yeah.
So that's where my connection is there. Azriel's a great character though.
He is. I like
Azriel.
I
but like
him.
When I first met him, like I kept thinking about that.
Yeah.
You know. That
the end is sad. Where the sisters are being turned in the cauldron.
Yes.
That made me really, really sad. Part of me is kind of glad. Beat me up. Because imagine like you're turned immortal and your brother's not.
Yeah.
And so you don't age, but your brother does.
Yeah.
I have 4 siblings. Yeah, 4 siblings. I had to count. I have 4 siblings and I couldn't do that. Like if I stayed forever young and like my little siblings or my older sibling grew up and died and I had to watch that, that would absolutely kill me.
Yeah.
So like I'm glad she's not alone because she was turned into like high fae. Is she high fae? I'm pretty sure she's high fae.
Yes.
Yeah. So she was turned into high fae with absolutely nobody.
Yeah.
Like no family, no friends, nothing.
But I mean, technically, the Night Court is her family.
They are now at this point. But yeah, at the beginning I was kind of sad because I'm like, she's leaving her entire world.
Yeah.
Yeah. But like, I still feel bad for her sisters because like their lives were ripped away from them. You know, Farrah chose that. They didn't.
But in a way, like, what kind of life did they have, though?
Not much, honestly. That's what I don't understand about them being so angry about it at first in the next book. I'm just like, you're surrounded by hot dudes with wings. You know, like it doesn't get better than that. You know, the wingspan talks about, you know, unmentioned. You know, why are you sad about that?
What did you think about Lucian being there and him claiming that Elena's...
That made me want to throw up.
Really?
It really did, because I like Lucian as a character, but he's kind of a... I can't say this without cussing. I'm trying to find... I don't know how to phrase this without using an ugly word. He's kind of a kiss.
Oops.
I'll just come out and say it. He really is a kiss ass, especially to Tamlin.
Brown noser.
Brown noser, that's what it is. I'm sitting there, I'm like, I know there's another term. Yeah, no, he's just all up Tamlin. Mm-hmm. And then, like, I get that he's a good guy, but he's just led by the wrong dude.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. So when he was like, Elaine's my mate, I was like, bro, don't even try it. Don't even try it. I don't like you.
Well, he didn't get a chance because the Night Court took her away.
Yeah. I respect because I'm just like, bro, you can't have her. Mm-hmm. After you're the reason that they were drunk here, you know, unbeknownst to you, but like still, that made me want to throw up when he was all of a sudden like, you're my mate. I'm just like, no.
A part of me kind of like, I don't know, maybe it's a trauma in me, but
red flag, honey, I am on my way.
But like with Lucian, like, dropping down and picking up Elaine when, like, I guess that mating bond kind of, like, snapped.
Yeah.
It kind of, like, made me feel kind of sad because, in a way, in, like, a tender kind of way where I'm just like, oh, he, like, cares about her.
Yeah.
And, like, that's his mate. And, like, you know he's not gonna hurt her.
Yeah.
Because they're mates.
Well, it did make me feel kind of bad because he's kind of had, like, a crappy life.
But, like, the whole situation with, like, the two of them giving them up to... Hyper, you know, that's kind of like...
You can't really overlook that.
No, you can't.
You know? Yeah.
But, like, a part of me is kind of just like, oh, he's probably regretting his decision now, you know?
Yeah.
And all that.
I wonder why he couldn't tell that she was his mate before she turned to Fae. I wonder if, like, Fae and human can't mate.
I think they probably can.
Yeah, because Rye Bread and Farrah Well, Farrah didn't feel it, but Rye Bread
But that
kinda guessed.
mating connection didn't, I don't think, like, really snapped into place until she was Fae.
Maybe what it was.
Like, he probably had that inkling of, like, a feeling,
yeah.
but it never, like, fully got there.
Yeah.
This is more.
He was more, yeah, we're signing. Because, like, I guess because, like, he wasn't really around Elaine until then.
Yeah.
Very much either. But, like, it did mention where Rye Bread, like, was on, top of Under the Mountain. And Farrah come up to meet him. And then he knew because she was freshly Fae, maybe.
Yeah.
But I really hope Elaine just rejects that bond. Forever.
I don't know. At that point, like, she was very broken.
Yeah.
So
yeah, she was rough.
I wanted to see her grow as a person first, to see who
Without
she
a man.
is.
Yeah.
And
then
then
I feel bad that she lost her fiance and everything because she's like engaged and all that.
that comes into the next book though.
No, it does mention it in this one.
Does it? I thought it was the next book.
No.
Because I know she was heartbroken that she was losing her fiance because...
No, because remember when they were meeting in the manor that Tamlin bought for the family? And then Elaine, or Nesta was like, you can't meet here because Elaine's betrothed is a Fae hunter. And so if he knows that you're here, that's ruined for her. And then Elaine was like, oh, we just won't tell him.
Oh, yeah, no.
Yeah, so they do mention it very lightly. We're trying not to jump ahead to spoil anything for anybody.
Yeah.
So I really hope that's not a
Although
spoiler.
this is a really popular book, so there's a very good chance people have already read it.
Yeah.
But for the sake of spoilers.
Yeah. I don't care how many times I read the series. I don't reread books. It's always going to be good. This is the I want to say the third or fourth time that I have read through the series. And I probably will do it again.
What's your rating?
5 out of 5.
At 4.5. I liked it better than the first one for sure.
Yeah, definitely better than the first one. Because, on the first one, I wrote like 1 page. And on this one, I wrote 2.5.
Which says a lot, considering it's a very long book.
Yeah.
And it took me a long time to get through.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm not really like the type for like really long books.
If you, I am. I don't know why I like long books. Especially, like, I'm not like smut in long books is like cool or whatever. But I like different universes with different characteristics.
I do enjoy that.
Yeah, I do love that.
I do enjoy that. I'll admit that. But I had to give it a 4.5.
What are your buzzwords?
Let's see.
Let me get my notebook here.
I said better than 1, so the first one. Rye bread with heart.
I'm sorry, did you actually write Rye Bread?
No.
Okay, I was just wondering because you are reading it so perfectly. I'm like, did you actually put that on there?
But ever since we started this and I saw his name, and I was just like, we gotta call him Rye Bread for this.
Rye Bread.
There's just no way. I said SJM knows how to make me hate but love character choices. So like again with like the same thing that I already said before, where like at the end of the book it got to the point where I was just like, why would you do that?
Yeah.
But then afterwards I'm just like, you know what? Good call, man.
Good call. Good job. Fro.
I don't really have like buzzwords, but those are just my final thoughts.
One thing that I did write that I did not say so far, if you know me, no you don't. I love protect men, like protective. Almost said protection. They don't use that in this book.
Yes, they do. Toxic.
Oh, the
tonic.
Toxic.
I was a toxic too.
The tonic. Yeah, I forgot about that. Okay. Fantasy or real life? It doesn't hurt to look like Greek gods. Fan art of Rye Bread is so... Have you ever seen that? Like, Pinterest shows me fan art of Rye Bread and Farrah all the time.
I don't know what it is, but ever since... I don't know if it's like after I started reading them or started getting into them or something like that. That's like every other reel that comes up on my Instagram is just...
It's because you started reading them, yeah?
Yeah.
No, but like it's like just seeing the fan art helps me because like, I've mentioned previously, I'm one of the people that can't picture stuff in my mind. And so when, Maas is explaining what he looks like, I can't see it. Mm-hmm. So fan art really helps me. I love looking up fan art when I'm reading a book because it helps me, see what they could look like. And I'm just like, Daddy, sorry. Daddy, sorry.
You know what I realized though?
What?
With, like I can picture it, but I can't picture it. In the way that, like, I don't see faces. Yeah. And even in my dreams, I don't think I even really, like, see faces. I don't it might look similar to, but it's not, like, there.
Close your eyes and see if you can see me.
I mean, I can.
Your eyes aren't closed. No, I'm just kidding.
But it's just the picture's not like, it's not fuzzy. Like, it's clear, but
Is it
it's
blank?
not all there.
Yeah.
But voices, I can hear the voices in my head.
Oh.
And that might be the schizophrenia in my family history that's talking.
You know what? I also have schizophrenia in my family history, so we're going to be cool in about 10 years.
But, yeah, I can kind of, like, hear the different voices in my head.
Yeah.
And, like, you know, I have voices for these people.
Yeah.
Looks,
Do they sound like this?
looks are kind of like their,
Yeah.
like, their wings. I can even picture how they feel.
How I feel. I can't
You know?
do that. I wish I could.
With the rest, their faces and stuff, I don't have it.
What about their... Here are my buzzwords. Heartfelt. Hot. Hot.
That's putting it mildly, though.
Okay. Sexy. No. Okay. Stressful, because oh my gosh, there were some parts where I was like on the edge of my seat sweating.
Yeah.
Strong, because Farrah discovers her own strength. And perfect, underlined. This book was perfect.
Oh.
It really is. It really is pretty good.
I like
Moss, if you're single, no, I'm just kidding.
I like how like your buzzwords are like buzzwords, and mine's just like
Actual
rye bread with a heart.
Rye bread.
Like, that's my parting thoughts.
That should be a tattoo. Just rye bread with a heart.
Honestly, like just write that with a little tiny heart
Yeah.
next to it.
No, bro, just don't even put rise in. Just put rye bread. People are gonna see it and be like, "Oh, you're about bread, huh?" And then you can be like, "Only the rye kind." Oh my god, man! I'm picturing you with a tattoo that just says rye bread. Oh my god, that would be gold. That would be gold. Oh man. And then people could be like, "What's that about?" And you're like, "Oh,
Don't ask.
Daddy." No. I can't go an episode without saying daddy, I promise. Take a shot every time Lydia says daddy. Oh, crying. Okay, I don't think I have any more thoughts in my brain after that. Daddy, sorry. Daddy, sorry. That's one of my favorite TikToks still to this day.
Really?
Only it's mommy, but, you know. Mommy, sorry. Mommy, sorry.
I don't know what my favorite TikTok is. I go through waves of what I like to listen to, watch, whatever.
Yeah.
My mind's
My-
gone.
I think it's a tie between Mommy, sorry, and Here Comes the Boy! Hello, boy! Oh my gosh, that cat. I can see it. I'm sorry, we're getting sidetracked. Thank you for joining us in today's episode of the Court series by Moss. If you liked it, cool. No, we have an email. It is biblioaudiopod@gmail.com. I'm like, correct. Yeah, I'm having to think it. Email us book recommendations, thoughts on the podcast, and we also have an Instagram, which is biblioaudiopodcast is our handle. And you want to talk about October?
Sorry, I almost burped.
Bro.
A little bit of puke almost came up with that one too.
Oh, spicy.
So you did Instagram. So October 14th, we are going to the Summerton, Alabama Book Fest. I believe it's from 9 to 4. And we're gonna have a little booth there. We're gonna have a little cute little things. We got some like merch we're gonna sell. You can leave us some recommendations. There's gonna be other stuff that we have or have not by this point in time figured out what we're gonna do.
It's still up in the air. We're super stoked though.
Yeah, we are. We really are. That's gonna happen October 14th in Summerton, Alabama. So if you are in the area and you want to check it out with us, cool beans. I think that's it.
I think so. All right, we'll see you next week.
Bye.
Bye.